often a man walk away from a child that he has been raising for 3, 5, 10, 15 years simply because the DNA test shows that he's not the biological father? Hear me out here. I'm not being insensitive. I know that his world has just been turned upside down. I know he feels betrayed. He's devastated. I empathize. I sympathize with his predicament. However, how is one able to walk away from a child that one has bonded with, loved, nurtured, poured blood and sweat into, simply because the DNA test shows that you're not the biological father? I understand getting rid of the wife or the girlfriend. The word I actually want to use starts with a W and rhymes with sure. Get rid of the W.
We get it.
But the children or the child, the innocent child, it is flummoxing to me. Now, I'm not a man and I do not know how this impacts men. I also know that there's deep shame. But were I in that predicament, of course I would be devastated. I'd be hurt and betrayed. But then I'd let the children know or the child know. You may not be my biological child, but you're still my child. I love you. You're my child in my heart. I've bonded with you. I've raised you. So nothing changes.
No, everything changes. What do you mean simply because the DNA test said that it's not your child? Do you know the level of betrayal that that is for a man to have spent resources, time, effort, energy? Women will never understand that. They could never understand the possibility of a person divesting themselves from another human being. People do it every day, though. Women bond with men on a regular basis, say I do, and then over 80% of the time they decide that they want to file for divorce. In the same way that in an instant, a woman can say that, you know what, I no longer love you, and now I want to also tear your life apart and make sure that you don't have resources to be able to live the life that you want to, even though I said that I loved you and I wanted the best for you at one time, but I no longer actually understand exactly why you don't want to pay alimony and child support to a person whose child is not yours. Because let's be clear, there's a lot of people that are paying child support for children that aren't theirs. There are a lot of people that actually adopted the child that wasn't there as a stepfather. So imagine the devastation that comes along with the fraud, because that's what it is. It's fraud because you knew you slept with somebody else and you knew that wasn't his child. Imagine the level of fraud that is being perpetuated, and then the men that suffer as a result of it, and you saying from a simple paternity test, DNA, that it's not yours, that men are supposed to continue to do this? Get the hell out of here, bro. I can't even believe we having this conversation.
I love how simply put it. I mean, women do it all the time. They tell men that they love, they're gonna leave them. They get married even for 5 years now. Like, how are they able to detach themselves from that man and file for divorce and take all his resources? So when a woman cheats, she makes that man believe that that child, that man is calling son or daughter, is his when it's not. When he finds out, are you telling me you're expecting that man to still feel the same way he felt when he knew that this is his child? Everything changes there. Of course, the child is innocent. It's because of the woman or the mother that has put that innocent child in that situation. Look, for women, you always know because you carry the children. But for men, we take your word for it. If you say like you're the father, then we believe it. The only way we get to confirm is DNA test, maybe at birth. Some who don't do that, like people have not been doing that. So you get to find out later on. Are you telling me you still feel the same way you felt before you found out? It's going to be different. You have so many emotions that you have to go through. My husband abruptly abandoned me and our children 5 years ago after a shocking DNA test that shook our world, claiming that the children were not biologically his. He abandoned us and disappeared from our sight. After being broken and devastated, I picked up the pieces and raised our children. She still finished by saying, our children. Best thing to do in these cases like this, if you know you are innocent, is to do a maternity test too, because there is every chance the baby was switched at birth. Instead, she chose to get outraged at the perfectly reasonable reaction from her husband, and her kids grew up without a father. or she just cheated and is completely allergic to accountability. Either way, it's her fault, and her kids grew up without a father. No love, you raised your own kids. Have you ever stopped to think how broken that man would be? Raising those children believing they were his? Did she gaslight paternity test? Our children, you mean your children? So emotional story of a strong independent loyalist. Funny way of saying I cheated multiple times. The trap didn't work. Gotcha!
This is directed to all you prideful dudes that say, oh, I don't check phones. Oh, I'm not insecure. He got more money than you. And all 3 kids don't belong to him. So what that say about you and your situation? Y'all be letting some of these shotties gaslight, trying to not get DNA tests, talking about some, that's gonna be insecure of you. That's not right. How could you not trust me? Man, what? Bro, I don't care how she feel. A real woman not gonna care that you want a DNA test, bro. So now, I'm not gonna sit here and say all women are like this. Of course not. But you can never be too sure. Just like girls be quick to like assume or ask questions and she apologizes afterwards, you should be allowed to assume just the same and then apologize afterwards. Not too insecure, but just for the right circumstances like this. Every child I had out the DNA testing. Facts. You moving weird, you been acting extra angry with me, I'm checking that phone. Facts. It's 12 dudes in the city right now that I can say their girlfriends is still messing with my homeboys after they had that baby, after they boy done put them in that house. Stop being a clown.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Married women out there, women in a relationship, they're still messing with the guys that they used to date. They don't cheat with the new guys. They cheat with the ex-boyfriends. For most of the times. If she's cheating with the new guys, then she's on the highest level in terms of ranking them. She's the fire of the top. I'm just saying, you guys. Let me see your comments in the comment section.
Did you hear about the husband whose wife passed away not long after giving birth to their child, and then he finds out that the child isn't even his and now wants to give him up? So this man's wife passed away last month, only 7 months after giving birth to their son. She unfortunately developed a rare form of heart failure that can occur in the months following childbirth. It can happen to anyone, so scary. Now, despite the doctor's best efforts, she unfortunately didn't survive. So now, this husband is dealing with the sudden grief, sudden loss, sudden heartbreak of losing his wife so suddenly after giving birth to their son. Now, 3 weeks ago, the wife's best friend came over to visit. It was very clear from her body language that she was feeling very nervous, and she told him that she had something sensitive to share. Now, after some hesitation, she finally revealed that her best friend, his wife, had confided in her that she had been unfaithful to her husband around the time that she conceived their son, and that there was a chance that he wasn't her husband's. Now, understandably, the husband was stunned, angry, hurt, so many emotions going through his body at once. Not only has he lost his wife, he now potentially has lost his son. Now, the wife's best friend was only telling the husband weeks after her death, and he felt like it was an attempt to tarnish her memory. His initial reaction was that he couldn't believe it. He told her to leave and to not to come back. He just felt like she was lying and somehow trying to shift the blame. Understandably, he went into a state of denial. He tried to push the thought to the back of his head that this can't be real. But once the idea was planted, it just would not go away. He kept asking himself, what if what she said was true? And the thought just would not leave him. So he finally decided to go and do a DNA test. He even felt guilty for considering this as an option, but he needed the closure. Now, yesterday, the results came back and his worst nightmare came true. His son wasn't his son, biologically. Now he's in absolute turmoil. He doesn't know what to do. He felt like their son was a bit of his wife that she left behind, and now that's not even the case. He says that he keeps looking at his son, trying to find some form of a bond. However, the thought of his wife's betrayal is literally at the forefront of his mind. He doesn't feel like he can move past this, and he feels awful, but he's really considering not raising their son. The feeling of betrayal that he's feeling is so overwhelming that he's not sure if he can provide the love and care that this child needs. And he's now unsure whether he's the asshole for even having these feelings. Come back for part 2 for an update on this story.
We'll wait for part 2 update on this story, what he did there, because that's a big decision that he has to make, whether he's going to raise that child or whether he's going to take that child to the relatives of the ex-wife, the woman that cheated and passed on, you know. So he has a big decision to make there. So let me know, guys, if you are in this situation, what would you do? Would you raise that kid as your own and love him? Because he's innocent. He's innocent. Yeah, but again, the issue is, are you going to, with the information that you have, are you going to fully love and guide that child properly? Given the information that you have, it is not your kid. The mother or your wife that passed on cheated on you to have that kid. Are you going to really care and love for him fully like you do it if he was your own? You know, those are the questions that will probably determine someone's decision. If you are to make a decision, you need to see it. Maybe not in the heat of the moment that you make that decision. Maybe you give it a few days. You know, after a DNA test, you give it a few days, you think about it, and then you see. Then you make a decision. Once you make that decision, you have to stand by it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me see your comments in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.